Yo, what's good YouTube? It's Boardsy, and in this video I'm going to be doing a review of the glorious Model O wireless. I've had this mouse for like well over a week now. I feel like my opinion on it is pretty developed, and I honestly think that this is a top mouse. The value on it for a top wireless mouse is ridiculous. The build quality is also fucking insane. I touched on that in the initial impressions video, but I'll talk about it once again. But this definitely sets the standard for what like a ultra lightweight wireless mouse should look like. I understand 70 grams, it's not really that light anymore, but it's still one of the lightest wireless mice that actually gets everything right. Unfortunately, my copy is defective, and I am going to be RMAing it. I'm sure that Glorious is going to fucking take care of me, but it's a pretty big yikes that the QC is still like a major issue, especially now that this mouse is $80 instead of like the standard 50. It's just, I don't know, you obviously don't want QC issues. What's wrong with my copy? It's actually pretty common, I guess. My mouse 5 is just totally fucked. So much pre-travel. And when I click mouse 4, it also like brings mouse 5 down. So my side buttons are just totally fucked up. People said that you can like open the mouse and there might be like a piece of foam in the way. And I don't have replacement feet for the Model O, so I'm just not gonna do that. I'll wait until I get my like new copy. And that kind of reminded me how G-Skates are a fucking total scam. You have to like buy additional ones, which cost like $7, when most companies are just fucking adding replacement feet in the box. You don't get that from Glorious. And also the shipping on G-Skates is like fucking $6 as well. So you're paying like $14 for an extra set of mouse feet. That's just a major yikes to me. I don't know. And even though my copy like is defective, it doesn't take away from how good this mouse is and how major of an improvement it is compared to past glorious mice. I'm going to squeeze the fuck out of the sides of this mouse and you're not going to hear a thing. That's crazy. I literally cracked my Model D minus like an egg. You heard that? Like, I was trying to break the mouse, and there were like two little creaks. And the bottom plate, I know it doesn't really matter, but it feels like it's fucking made of like steel. It's insane. Just the way this mouse feels, like in terms of the structural integrity compared to past glorious mice, and honestly, a lot of mice in my collection is truly impressive. They definitely added some like support beams down here or whatever. I'm not thinking too much of it. Whatever they did, it was fucking worth it. And even if it costs like a gram or two, who cares? Now the mouse actually feels nice and not like a cheap piece of shit. That is one of the things that's just really important with mice. I don't know why. I don't like fucking slam my mice. I'm not retarded. But I just really like having a mouse that doesn't feel cheap. And Glorious being able to do that, this same Glorious, is impressive. And there were also major improvements made to like the click quality. Like when I fucking press down so hard, I can't get any pre or post travel on either click. There's like zero side play whatsoever. It's like appalling. It's major improvements, leaving me speechless. They're still using Omron 20Ms, but they feel about as good as they can feel. I wouldn't say they feel as good as the Ultralight 2 clicks, but the right click on my mouse is up there. Unfortunately, I have another issue where my left click it just feels like more dull. It's very light and it lacks tactility compared to the right click, and it's just a better click experience on the right click. I don't know if that alone would be enough to RMA it, but considering the fact that my side buttons are completely fucked as well, I'm going to be getting a new mouse. But yeah, that stuff, it sort of bums me out about the clicks, but I am just so happy that the quality is like top tier. Like really, the fucking quality improvements they made were insane. And if all of their other mice are like this, I might have to revisit some of them. That brings me to my next point, which is the cable. I know it's weird to talk about on a wireless mouse, but the cable's really good for whatever reason. It has like it has a stupid stress relief thing. So it's not going to be as good as like a cable on a wired mouse, but if for whatever reason you do need to play with this while it's charging, it's like a fucking really good cable now. And I would presume they made these same changes to all of the standard fucking glorious cables. What do I call them? Ascended cables. So yeah, that's impressive. Also, one thing I found to be pretty stupid, like they have a USB-C cable, but you can only put it in one way. So that like kind of goes against like the whole idea of of USB-C. So people are like, yes, USB-C, but it's like basically the same as micro USB. I don't get it. I don't really have to plug this mouse in too much anyways, but you can see like it's not fucking connecting when I put it this way, but if I put it this way, it does. So fucking USB-C is a sham. This mouse being 70 grams and wireless, it's just really easy to use. This is a mouse I've been using for like over a week straight, which for reviewers is an insane amount of time, and I haven't complained about it once. The mouse, it just feels pretty natural to grip. It's not like my favorite shape or anything, but it gets the job done. And since all of like the qualities are top tier, that's basically all you can ask for from a mouse. This mouse being $87 for a top tier wireless mouse, that's something that's basically unheard of. I know the fucking Viper Ultimate dropped down pretty recently, but it used to be like 150, 130, and this mouse being $80, it sets the standard. And I understand that some people are hesitant to consider Glorious given their past QC problems, and obviously those haven't been eradicated, and I can't even imagine what's happening to some of the other copies, but the build does seem to be like universally improved, and that is something that I greatly appreciate. The build quality on this mouse is ridiculous. The G-skates are also improved. I don't know if I really touched on that, but they feel a lot smoother now, and they feel very similar to like Tiger Arcs. The sensor is great. The wireless stuff, it's fucking perfect. The only issues, once again, are QC, and that does hold this mouse back from getting the Boardsy seal of approval. And maybe in a couple batches, like 1 or 2, when the issues have been weeded out, this will be the top wireless mouse. But for now, I would just suggest that you steer clear, maybe stick to wired, and then in a few months go with it. But the QC issues, they do still seem to be there. Glorious cannot escape it. But that's going to be all for this video. This is a wonderful mouse with a few problems. The FK shape, I mean, I don't personally love it, but I try not to be too biased considering the fact that like millions of people fucking use it and enjoy it. Now I'm just going to go over the software real quick because there are some important things to mention, and that will be all. And there is some new software for this mouse. It is called Glorious Core. You can just download it from their website. It has like a different UI. It looks a bit better, more like modern, I guess. You can change the lighting settings in the lighting section, all of the same settings, blah, blah. Key bindings if you like fucking macro on Fortnite or whatever. And then there's performance. And I really recommend, at least for me, 2mm liftoff distance did feel better. I was getting like, not fucked over, but I noticed it was really low on 1mm. And for debounce time, you can go down to 2ms, but I was getting a ton of accidental clicks and double clicks. So I would recommend 4 if you want to be like perfectly safe, go to fucking 6. But yeah, definitely I wouldn't minimize the debounce time, and obviously don't fucking max it out, you weirdo. And polling rate for wireless mice, I recommend 500. You can do 1,000, but it will drain the battery a bit quicker, and I really personally can't notice the difference. But that's going to be all for this video. Thank you guys all for watching, and I do think that this is a fucking top tier mouse. Just needs to have like a bit of time to weed out those QC issues. Peace.